Yo, what's going on YouTube individuals and Dragon Ball Z enthusiasts out there? This is your boy RBG, aka the Random Black Gamer, hitting you guys up again with another update / analogy video. It's been a while since I've updated you guys with a new analogy video pertaining to DB Xenoverse. There have been minor leaks here and there, but for the most part I felt that a little more info needed to accumulate before I made a new video. It had seemed to be somewhat of a dry season for Xenoverse in terms of actual gameplay. Some people have been a bit anxious for new footage, but I on the other hand found this to be conducive considering the game is still fresh on our minds. There hasn't been an actual release date, but the heads at BandaiNamco have given a placeholder release stating that it will be available early 2015. That particular info was given at this year's Tokyo Game Show along with some more gameplay which I'm going to be analyzing with you today. Now, as I stated before in my previous analogy video from Japan Expo's coverage, this isn't the final build for DB Xenoverse, but a rather a alpha build for it. That meaning that there are still things that need to be fine-tuned and further optimized, such as combos, character animations, hit frames, interactive environments, etc. So there's no need to be highly critical over a product that's pretty much naked. And considering the fact that BandaiNamco is willing to showcase Xenoverse with its lacking components, shows that they're open to suggestions. So far I can tell you that although we're in our alpha state, we've been progressing quite nicely. Compared to prior gameplay from Japan Expo, I've noticed a couple of adjustments were done to the heads-up display, that being the yellow key bar and the green bar, which I'm presuming to be the stamina bar. They seem to be significantly longer than before. As you can see in the Japan Expo footage, the two bars are noticeably shorter and only have 3 sub-bars, unlike TGS's footage that has 6. My guess is that Dimps didn't want to give off too much input on what the bars would do and only wanted to give us a little something to wet our whistles the first time around. Another theory I have is that we still might start off with 3 bars, but the stats may vary depending on what character you use, or it could be modifiable later in the game. Something else that I noticed about the bars is that they seem to be a bit more active this time around based off of the player's actions. In Japan Expo's build, you kinda had an idea that the yellow key bar would deplenish based on the usage of energy attacks and the green bar would deplete after executing teleportations. This go around there seems to be a lot more going on. If you look at TGS's footage, performing a homing key dash will start to take its toll on the green stamina bar. In the Japan Expo footage, it looked as if key dashing would be unlimited, and that had me worried a bit because small mistakes such as these could somewhat hamper the online experience. I have no doubt that the players would abuse the key dash if given the opportunity, and I have to admit that I would have been one of the first players to do so, but this would cause the game to be frustrating, especially considering the fact that it's deeply rooted in the style of the Tenkaichi and Raging Blast series, which govern the law of non-key dash spamming. To get to the point, players will have to monitor the usage of key dashing wisely. Another thing that's been added this time around is the combo hit indicator. I had a preconceived notion that Dimps would be aiming to make Xenoverse a well-cemented fighter, making the combat the core feature, but they really seem to be trying to encourage players to chain combos. Seeing the indicator appear will no doubt make me more ambitious to stitch out combos as long as possible. Since we're on the topic of combos, one thing that hasn't been improved on is the characters' combo movements. What I mean by this is that the way in which they move with their combos looks clumsy and all over the place, even when locked onto their opponent. I mean, it seems to have gotten a little better, but the animations still look unpolished. And that's probably due to the fact that Dimps is a development company that specializes into making perfect fighters for the fans to enjoy. They have to go deep within the confines of the fighting game system and fine-tune the hitboxes, frames, and last but not least the character rigs themselves. Now what I mean by character rigs is essentially each character has their own built-in skeletal system that gives them their individuality. This is what dictates how the character moves, how they sit idle, how they give and receive damage, and pretty much everything in terms of physicalities. I think that's what exactly needs to be worked on, especially the aerial combat aspect, because the characters' bodies in air and certain recovery animations look out of place. For example, Goku's recovery animation after being blasted through the air by Vegeta looks weird. It looks like he's literally bouncing on air, and I think that could be fixed. As mentioned earlier, Xenoverse is still in the alpha stage, and these minor problems will most likely be fixed. But getting back onto the TGS 2014 footage. This time around, we got a showcasing of 4 new characters other than Goku and Vegeta. Those characters are Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, and Nappa, but I mostly want to talk about Gohan versus Piccolo. As you can see, we've gotten more environments other than the Rocky Desert and Cell Games tournament. This time around, we see the grassy plains and the World Martial Arts tournament. And based on the detail of the stages and considering that we're nowhere near the final build of this game, I can honestly say that Xenoverse is turning out to be a full-body Dragon Ball Z game. That being said, I would like to point out that the Havoc and Yebis 2 graphics engines seem to really be showcasing their specialties. The visual palettes of textures, lightings, and shadowing get a level of aesthetic never seen before in previous Dragon Ball Z titles. The environments look rich in detail, and I'm just eager to see how much destruction I can cause. Now there are still things that we still haven't seen showcased, and those things are key charging and in-game cutscene finishers for the Z Warriors. Even though key charging hasn't yet been present in recent footage, it has in fact been confirmed by officials from BandaiNamco that it will most likely be implemented in by the time the beta version is released. But the big elephant in the room is the missing in-game cutscenes we've been accustomed to seeing since Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1. I think I speak for most of you when I say as an avid fan of DBZ, we look forward to seeing our favorite Z Warrior perform iconic moves seen in the show. I mean, this particular element seems to assert itself on every yearly game release we get, but based from what we've seen, we still haven't gotten in-game cutscenes. It looks like the Dimps team has trimmed the fat off of those iconic finishing moves to maintain the gameplay's fluidity, keeping it semi-chaotic instead of full-blown destructive. I'm not sure if they're reluctant to follow the common tradition or if they want Xenoverse to play more in the favor of a competitive fighter. Whatever move they decide to make will most likely cause a rift in between parties who want to see the thrill of cutscenes and those who want a straightforward fighter. If you ask for my opinion on this matter, and I'm pretty sure you're wondering, I have to say that Dimps needs to integrate in-game cutscenes. I feel that there's no better payoff than executing these classical moves with all their devastation and over-the-topness. And considering Dragon Ball Z is an action-based shonen, it warrants and somewhat demands the game developer to go crazy with the art depositions. And since we've made our ascension into the next generation of gaming, this is the best time to utilize the powers of the Xbox One and PS4. I'm pretty sure a development team such as CyberConnect 2, a team known for the Ultimate Storm series, would jump at this given opportunity. All in all, I just don't want to see Dimps abandon features that gave the Budokai game its success. But if they decide not to go with cutscenes, this won't be anything new. This act has been done with previous titles such as the Shin Budokai series and DBZ Burst Limit. Although these finishers were toned down, they still provided just enough to give a sense of fulfillment to the players. I'm hoping they give a similar emphasis and detail to the super finishers in Xenoverse. So far all we get are quick close-ups of the character's face as his energy builds and a quick transition back to the default camera angle. Pretty much all in all, there are things that need to be optimized, but I have faith that Dimps will deliver a DBZ game like no other. So far we've gotten the announcement of an online hub world, character creation, and the actual story of this strange universe seems to be reaching closer to the surface. Be on the lookout for Tokyo Game Show footage pertaining to Dragon Ball Xenoverse. I'll most likely be covering it. But that's all I got for you guys today. What do you think about the latest footage given, and what are some of your likes and dislikes? I would also like to know what you disagreed on pertaining to my analysis. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you're new to the channel and you want to see more Xenoverse news, subscribe, and don't forget to favorite and share the video. The more feedback I get, the more inspired I get to implement more ideas and creativity into these videos. Anyways, this is your boy RBG signing out on another update/analogy video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.